Miron glass. Find out what this violet glass can do for you and for your herbs. I know it looks black here, but this is actually violet glass. If you shine it up against the light, you can see that violet color come through. And this is important because this violet glass, it blocks most of the light spectrum coming in. And scientific research has shown that this is useful for preserving the quality of your herbs. The herbs will degrade to some degree. Depends on the herb, depends on how it's processed, but to some degree, they degrade mostly based on 3 different factors: heat, light, and air. You're probably not heating up the herbs, and many of them are heat extracted anyway, so that's not necessarily most of a problem with many of the herbs, but it's the light in the air that is going to cause some problems. So for instance, we have some goji berry here, and our freeze-dried goji berry extract, it's still fine like this. It may lose some color, it may even lose a little bit of flavor depending on how long you let it go, and it will clump up like this, but it's still good that way, and in fact, it can be quite easy to just chew it like that when it does. But you store it in something in the Miron glass like this here, and that's going to keep it nice and powdery, a little bit easier to use in most cases. Violet glass, it allows only a little bit of the light spectrum in, which is going to help preserve the herbs, especially when you compare it to, say, clear glass, as most glass happens to be. Notice I have some of the beet juice powder here. Still good usable stuff, but you see how it's sticking on there? That's something that will happen with the light. You can also just keep it in the bags that these herbs come in, but we have the Hercules here clumping up, similar sort of way. This, once again, is not a problem. It's not losing all of its efficacy, but it may degrade a little bit. So the proper storage of your herbs is really important. At Lost Empire Herbs, we have 3 different size Miron glass bottles. We have the liter size, 250 milliliters, and 100 milliliters. And this is appropriate for the different size bags of herbs that we have. So for instance, the 250 gram megadose pine pollen, also sea buckthorn, some other herbs we have like that, it fits in the liter jar with some room to spare. So if you have some old stuff, you can throw it all in there. The 250 milliliter jars are perfect for many of our herbs that come in 100 grams, and that's kind of a standard size. We have a lot of our herbs available like this, such as the Hoshiwu. Then the 150 milliliter jars are great for any of our smaller size bags. So like the chaga here, 30 grams, that fits quite perfectly in one of these jars. So we have these available. Now, the Miron glass is not cheap, and the manufacturer of this requires certain retail price levels. So we'd love to give it to you even cheaper, but we are required to offer at certain prices there. If you are investing in the long term in your herb usage, pick up a few of these because it can, once again, preserve that quality of your herbs, and that's really important. So just get a few. You'll see even in my household I have lots of these available, but still for some of the herbs, like this works. Some herbs it is more important than other ones to store them in this. You may notice I have a open drawer over there. Tons of these bottles in here. The great thing about these 250s and 150s here, they fit in most drawers like that, so I can just slide it in, have all my jars, put a little label on top, and I can easily see and access all the herbs available. Now, there is one other thing I'll just touch on here. There is some ideas of some esoteric benefits. So by only some of the light getting in, you set this out in sunlight, that it may charge the herbs in certain ways. This isn't as scientifically studied, but we may include some research on this in the future. So you can look at that, but just even for the preserving benefits alone, this Miron glass is some amazing stuff. You can head on over to lostempireherbs.com, find out a lot more information about this, see the research, see how they preserve different herbs in different colored glass, clear glass versus amber glass versus the Miron glass, and just what it does for those things.